Hi, this is Chloe. I'm sorry my lighting is not that great. I'm not going to show up very well on this one. I tried downloading some videos that I did and I get halfway through and it won't finish downloading, so I thought I'd just try to record off the site and hopefully this goes better. So I wanted to do a video, or I have already done one, but here's a new one, of the Celtic Messages Oracle or deck. It's a round deck. I wanted to show what the backs are made from. So the outer layer of the back of the deck, you can see it is Triskel. That's the round circular symbol here. With closer. All right, Triskel. And then this other one here is a triquetra. Okay, the triquetra is a Celtic knotwork triangle, and the Triskel is a triple spiral. Okay, so the example of that and it's where that order comes from is the helper card, which are goddesses or heroes from legend, is the Triskel card. So as you see, it has a Triskel, and next to it is a triquetra symbol. All right, and that's the first layer that's around on the back of the cards. All right, the next one is the yellow layer. Okay, and the yellow layer comes from the hounds. It is dog bone with a triquetra right next to it, the Celtic knotwork. Okay, so dog bone, Celtic knotwork. It's the totem cards are yellow, and it represents animals that held meaning to the people, the Celtic people back then, to give them a certain exemplary, like certain animals held certain significance to them. The hounds were known for being helpers and cooperation and protectors, being part of the family. Okay, and then finally we have on the green layer, okay, the green layer is the wild woods. Okay, so if you look at the green layer on the card, okay, it has a triquetra and an acorn, um, representing the trees in the wild. Okay, and as you can see, there's a fox and some birds, and it looks like the tree maybe where the acorn came from up here, and some other trees in the background there. And it's a little hard to see the words, but it says the card's number 16, the wildwood, and its words are temptation, excitement, and disorientation. So the woods were kind of a wild, if not scary, at least confusing place for the ancient peoples. Um, so there's the symbolism. And now the central symbol on the back of the card, that's considered the solar wheel. And if you look at the solar wheel card, that's the symbol of it in the middle, and that is in the middle of the back of the cards. Okay? So they used part of the makeup of the cards to help create the back of the cards. Alright, cool. So as you can see, they're very colorful, they're illustrated, and yet they're more of the style which I associate with the Lenormand Sabellas, which is they have a main symbol and then maybe a little bit of a portrait or a background to it, but it's not the portrait style we associate with the wider waves. So I have to pinch my leg. I'm having some leg pain there. I'm sitting on my bed, so have to rearrange my feet. All right, so yeah, I really like the Triskel card. In the book, they refer to this as also the mother and the breed card. It says breed or bride, mother and security. You can see symbols associated with breed is the flame. And I guess if you're thinking about mother and the mother earth and all that, the association of the fruit and the rose and a goddess or a mother figure sitting here. And then the Triskel is a representation of the flowing of life and life cycles or the triple realms. We use the Triskel to represent many things in the Celtic pantheon and triad thought forms, those kind of things. Alright, So in the book they explain that these three cards, the land card, right, the snake, and the solar wheel card, if they come up in a spread, even just one of them or a couple together or all three, these are the most important cards in that spread. These are giving you a very positive, specific message, like transformation, if it's the snake card, harmony and fulfillment, coming to completion with the solar wheel. And the land card is about awareness, respect, and harmony. So, like, a really just positive card. Think of it almost like Mother Earth backing you up in whatever you're trying to endeavor. It's a solid plan. Yeah, you will be helped and held up during your time of bringing everything to a head. So, yeah, these three cards are considered the most important cards in the spread, the most positive answer you can get if you're asking a question and they come up in the spread. They overshadow any other cards that had come up with that question. Another card that I think is really lovely in this deck and actually shows up, its symbolism shows up a couple times, is, okay, so here's the Druid card, right? And if you notice, the Druid has this staff with like a sheath, like a cutting tool at the top, or maybe it's a crescent moon symbol. It's a little hard to say. It didn't really give much in the description about it, but I find it interesting that that same part of this picture, the top of the staff, is the symbol for the sacred grove, which, as if you know anything about the history of the Druids or the rumors that the Greeks wrote about the Druids, that they held the sacred groves as their temple spaces, as their places of worship. And on the border of the sacred groves card, they have that tool, that top of the staff, may be as a symbol of the moon, a sacred symbol of the Druids of some sort. I'm hoping to research to find out more about what that symbol might mean. So this sacred grove on here says sanctuary, solitude, and spirituality. Uh, the Druid says discipline, rules, and control. Now, I can see where they get that. They were the ones who helped make judgments, but they were also the rebels against what was considered a more domesticated and more civilized society that was trying to come in and take over areas that the Celts and the natives of the Isle preferred their country a bit more wild, a bit more freedom, and not so much um, how the Greeks wanted to live. So yeah, I really like this deck. I like how they divided the deck. It isn't so elemental based yet. There's still some of that there if you wanted to with the color coding on the borders. I love this card, the sea card. If you look at the border, it has a seashell by a triquetra. It's actually two-tone with a red box around the seashell and then green around the triquetra. It stands for travel and exploration. And I don't know if you can see, but in the water, they've used kind of a mixed media. They've used some the paper that they used for the water. It looks like there was written type words in there. You can kind of see the blackness of where that typing is, and then they used another, like they painted on, maybe they recycled some typeface or printed on paper to give it another like textured feel, maybe a scrapbook feel, and then a watercolor covering over it. So yeah, I just like how they mix that up. Right, such a pretty card. I really like that. And then another favorite of mine for this deck was the roundhouse they show. Kind of reminds me of a beehive. Yeah, kind of a beehive or a cave-like structure in the red box. And then triquetra again. The roundhouse, that is the actual shape of how they made their homes. And again, she kind of used a layering effect of like printed text and then a pattern and then a kind of watercolor drawing down here, and then this is printed text, a pattern, Progitex pattern and so on. I really like the mixed media aspect, kind of like scrapbooking, how they put that together. It's really cool. And then here's Boudica, and the interesting thing in this one is another example of a triquetret, but they're using it as a shield or a wheel symbol there. There's both a shield. And on the edge, they have that same, like another example of a triquetra, but not so much in a Celtic style. At least not that I'd associate that as Celtic. I mean, it's still the Celtic symbol, but in a different kind of tone done way. And that's Boudica. And it's courage and sacrifice are just a couple of the words associated. It also has a mixed media feel. It has words printed on the cape. Not that it's specifically word, but it's like they used other media mixed together and painting to create a Boudica picture. Yeah, and so for me, this is more key or symbolistic, not so much moving action cards. And I think that's a unique look, and I really like the deck. The cardstock's a bit thin, but it's nice and slippery, so you could do like the swirling off of the cards on the table and then just picking a card from the swirl by how you feel what you should pick up. And they are not that hard to handle. They're about, I would say, mid-size. Easier than the circle tarot, the circular tarot of the Circle of Life tarot. And yeah, I just love the mixture that they've done with this. So if you're interested in this deck, there are still a few on sale on Amazon for a reasonable price. And I got a box set that came with the book, the lovely cloth bag, and the mandala book, which is in the box right now. Sorry. And yeah, so I would definitely, if you found this interesting or intriguing, or if you'd like to ask more questions for insight, you can comment below and get in contact with me. I hope this is interesting, and I look forward to giving readings with this deck at my next psychic fair or sessions coming up. So